Hi, my relatives. Welcome back to another episode of Our Storytellers, presented to you by the Indigenous Screen Office. Thank you so much to our friends and family over there at the Indigenous Screen Office for sponsoring these podcasts and helping us record some stories from the Squamish Nation. It means so much. Thank you so much. On today's episode, we're joined by Squamish matriarch Victoria Michels, née Baker. We actually filmed this one on her back deck, which was a lot of fun to do. Victoria is a leader. That's ultimately what she is. She's worked in a variety of capacities and has had a very interesting life journey. She has seen how the nation operates. She's worked as a longshoreman. Her family's been in longshoring. And she grew up on the Mission Reserve. I think that Victoria tells her story amazingly. So without further ado, please welcome to the Our Storytellers podcast, Victoria Michels, née Baker.
Hello, my relatives. How are you? Here at Our Storytellers, we care about your spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical well-being, which is why we want to inform you that this podcast discusses topics that may cause trauma to listeners and viewers. These subjects include mentions of Indian residential schools, assimilation, ongoing harm, colonial impacts, and much more. Our Storytellers recognizes the need to minimize risks associated with traumatic subject matter. The Hope for Wellness helpline offers immediate help to all Indigenous people across Canada. It is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to offer immediate support and crisis intervention. Services are available in English and French, and in Nehiyaw, Anishinaabe and Inuktitut upon request. If you or someone you know are experiencing any harm, no matter how big or small it's perceived to be, you can call the toll-free helpline at 1-855-242-3310 or connect to the online chat at www.hopeforwellness.ca. Kinanaskaman, I'm grateful for you. Your ancestors are always with you. All my relations, Riel.
Victoria, my name is Riel. I'm Métis from Nehiyaw and Soto background, and thank you so much for coming on the Our Storytellers podcast here. One second. As you can tell, we do things very official.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. But I have this protocol here for you. I have a blanket, tobacco, and I have some honoraria that's provided by our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office, who provided a grant. And how the story kind of goes is, we received this grant to produce 20 episodes of a podcast, and it only felt right that it went back to the people and the matriarchs that, have raised me by allowing me to live on these lands for the last 6.5, 7 years here. So I wanted to make sure it went back to the matriarch. So I'm going to pass this over to you here and just to open up the relations between our family and yours officially, and in your own way, please introduce yourself.
Okay, Hoichka. Thank you. ACM. Riel, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here. Chekoman told me tonight Victoria Michels née Baker Queen's na Balakwia Queen Shaman. My name comes from Margaret, my grandma, from William Baker's wife. I'd like to welcome you to the Hokamil of Hamilchison. And I'm really honored to be with the Storyteller. I've seen some of your podcasts. I'm really honored to be asked to share my story. I'm going to start off with the Slolum, the Squamish. I'm going to sing the old version for what I know. My apologies if I sing it wrong. If you'd like to keep anyone in your prayers at the moment, or anyone that you're thinking of, if you're feeling that you need to pray for somebody, you can do that. If you want to be happy, any kind of feeling you want, this song is the paddle song. O Mohath Malay Checha Inslesium Quensle, quensle, quentoma, tanema sama. O no hath malay, che cha and slesium. Quensle, quensle, quentoma, tanema sama. Quensle, quensle, quentoman, tanema sama. O no hath malay, che cha and slesium. Quensle, quensle, quentoma, tanema sama. Quensle, quensle, quentoma, tanema sama.
Okay.
Hey, hi.
Thank you so much. I think you're the first person to ever sing on Our Storytellers.
That was so beautiful.
Yeah, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. So, what's that? How did you get that song? What's the story behind that song?
I heard that song when I was from late Uncle Lawrence Baker. You might know Lawrence Baker. His ancestral name was Hollick. He was my late father's brother. He was the son of William Baker. And he was one of the first Sachem Squamish language teachers up at SFU. And I heard that song actually going to funerals. I went to funerals at one time as a little girl, and I remember them singing it on the floor when the body procession was going around, and I didn't know that it was such a sacred time, and I just picked up the language. I didn't know the words to the song, but that's who I learned it from, and also being in ceremonies. So that's pretty much, it sums it up, and practicing it every day is probably something I do just to feed my spirit. So that's where I originally heard the song from, was my Uncle Lawrence.
Amazing.
Lawrence Baker.
That's beautiful.
How did you grow up? Let's jump into the story. Like, how did you grow up?
I grew up in a family of 8. The youngest out of 8 children.
Nice.
My parents got married in the late 30s, I believe, 40s. And they actually got married in Inac. And my father's Thomas Ronald Baker, his ancestral name is Chaos in Tenost. He got the name from his grandpa. He grew up in Chikai, up in Squamish, Stamos.
Yeah.
And my mom, she grew up down here in Capilano. Her father's August Jack. So I actually when I grew up, I was kind of a little traveler. I used to be in the car all the time. So a lot of times I wasn't home. I was in a car going up Squamish, or I was down Capilano. But I kind of grew up in a very busy home. My father was a longshoreman. We didn't see him very much. My mom, she stayed home, did all the cooking. So I was raised actually probably pretty strict. Being from a cultural background, I was in ceremony a lot with my father. My mom didn't really go to ceremony. She was residential. She didn't like to be in a setting where there was drumming and singing. She just felt like she wasn't familiar with it. So I kind of grew up when my mom was kind of closed in.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of hard for me because I always wanted to encourage her. Mom, you got to go to this. You got to go to that. So a lot of my time I was worrying about my mom. It was the hardest thing I ever had to go through. I never really asked her why. I just said, Mom, why don't you want to go to any of the ceremonies? And she just said she wasn't interested. Or she'd say, I don't want to go. And so I just left her, but school was pretty down straight. There was like lunch bags lined up. My mom had all the lunch bags ready for us, all brown bagged. There was nothing fancy about my lunches. My dad used to walk me to school up in Oslahan, up in Keith Road. I remember walking up the hill, and there were cracks in the sidewalk. So I spent a lot of time with my father. He was pretty much one of my best friends. And we talked a lot together. So I was kind of always asking, Dad, why is this? Why is that? And he would teach me a lot about feelings. And, but he never talked about his own feelings. It was really weird. He would talk about other people, why they do this and why they do that. And it kind of made me wonder. There's always a mystery between my parents. There was always like, I would get in them and I get so close and I would just be pushed away. And it was difficult, Mom had a lot of hurt, but she sure was a good mom. Like she taught me well. She taught me how to be a lady. She taught me how to be polite, say please and thank you. When we were in public, it was like a touch and go, because my mom couldn't bring 8 kids to Wilco. You heard about Wilco?
No, what's that?
Okay. Well, Wilco is the Walmart now. Okay. Well, anyways, we go to Sears and Wilco.
Version of Walmart.
Yeah, it was a cheap version of Walmart.
There's a cheaper version of Walmart?
It was cheaper. It's where all the Squamish people shopped.
Yep.
And so anyways, we go shopping and it was always go, go, go. It was never, ever like slow. So I had a pretty fast pace growing up. I didn't like it half the time. I was stubborn. I would rebel towards her. And I think I was a kind of like, I was really strong-minded and I didn't like it. There's parts of me I didn't like about that. I'm still kind of in that way, but I grew up in a very structured life. It was we'd never stop. It was always go. If we weren't cleaning, we were cooking. I spent a lot of time watching my mom knit. She did a lot of knitting. I did a lot of going to Queen Mary's School up in the North Shore. Was just off of Keith Road. I went to school. A lot of the Squamish people went there. Faye Nahaney, Bernie Natrell, Leah Baker. All my cousins went there, and we had the best times. I mean, growing up 3-4 blocks from my school, it was just the best, It was just, we never had like a lot of problems in school. We enjoyed school. I was kind of like a little teacher's geek, right? I would always help out with the chalkboard. And so my growing up it was good at school, at home. It was a good life, but it was strict. And it was a hard thing to go through. But I conquered it. I appreciate what I had. My mom's teaching. She was such a good mom. And my father, he taught me how to work. So I grew up in a working home. That's all I knew was work. You go to school, you come home, then you have fun. There was a time and a place for everything, And there was this thing at the, I guess they used to call it Peony Days. Back in the day, the Squamish Nation would allow all the youth to go to the Peony every year. So we called it Peony Day, Indian Day.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my favorite things I ever did as a child. I didn't like sports day. I wasn't very much of a sports person. So anyone that was in sports, I couldn't throw a ball. I tried basketball. I did baseball and hit myself in the head with the ball. And nobody wanted me on the team, right? Every time in school, I'd say, well, does anybody want me on the team? I'm like, why am I the last one being picked? And it was so hard to get a boyfriend, too. I was so tall in high school. I could not get a boyfriend. Nobody wanted to go out with me. I was too tall. And then it was just so funny. So my life, I was quite humorous. I used to fall a lot on my knees. I got scabs still on my knees.
Yeah.
So I was never into sports. That's how I grew up, never into sports.
What kind of ceremonies did your dad take you to?
Canoe racing. He was a canoe racer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a war canoe. We used to sit on the beach down in Capilano, down Burrard Inlet. They had canoe races down there, so it was pretty cool. He was a racer too. and a lacrosse player. So I grew up around lacrosse.
Cool.
All my brothers, Dwayne Baker and Vern Baker, were lacrosse players. So a lot of sports as I grew up to a teenager. So that was a lot of my influence. They tried to get me into that, but still at 15, 20, I still didn't want to do any sports. I was like, no, I don't want to do sports. But my growing up, I'd have to say in a nutshell, was pretty good.
Nice.
It was pretty good.
So what was were your grandparents around at the time too, or?
My grandpa, August Jack, that's from my mother's side. Her maiden name was Johnson. I didn't know Grandpa August Jack. When I was born, he had passed away already. I know Emma Jack. Her ancestral name was Tsunamiat. Tsunamiat. You have to say the T at the end. She used to hold me, apparently what my mom said, because I felt really ripped off not knowing my grandparents. I didn't know any of them. I was familiar with my grandma, and I didn't know the rest, but Grandma Margaret, I knew. I met her a few times, but she landed up in an old folks' home down by the St. Paul's. They used to call it the Tile Lodge, right by the St. Paul's. Renee, your cousin, may know the area.
Yeah.
So being around my grandma, the one I only knew, I received her ancestral name 2 years ago on June 22nd. About a year, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I can't remember. My ancestral name is Balachuya. So she was my grandpa's second wife. So I come from the second generation of my grandpa. So I didn't know him, but I heard he was one of the first Squamish Nation RCMP cops in North Vancouver.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know. My dad didn't talk about him much about being a police officer, but I heard really good stories about him. He wore the uniform. I know Grandma Margaret, her doors were always open. She used to have big pots of soup on the stove. And I remember that place was like a zoo. People were in and out, but I was really, really small. I think I was probably under 3. But I remember standing there and seeing everybody come in and out. She kind of took everyone under her wings. I mean, she had a big heart. She grew up down Seymour, down Chechequay. She were Tenolft, honey girl, Gloria Nahaney. She's my first cousin. She built a longhouse down there by Seymour, by the main office. And yeah, it was pretty cool. She grew up down there. So I didn't know much about her living. I just have the memories from when I was under 3, what I can possibly remember. I do know that her saying was, "You come from good people." You know, that was her favorite saying, "You come from good people. Remember that. We are good people." She said that to everybody. So I'm gonna keep echoing that, so that our generations today, you know, our descendants share these little kind of words and these sayings, and I'm going to keep it because that's what my cousin Margaret wanted me to do when she gave me this name, is make sure you keep that alive, let it breathe, that we do come from good people. So these are some of the teachings I have from what I remember my grandparents. Unfortunately, I didn't know them. I admire people that know their grandparents. I know my husband, Robert, his grandpa lived up to 90 something, and I met him, and what a joy. I mean, I fell in love with him right away. So.
Yeah.
But it was what I have left. I've got memories. I'm going to hold that close to my heart.
Hey, my relatives, super quick pause in this episode of Our Storytellers just to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office. The Indigenous Screen Office supports Indigenous narrative sovereignty through storytelling on screen. They provide grants to small podcasts like us to support our growth and to support the guests that we can have come on. Big thanks to them. Please check them out on Instagram. Please check out their website. You never know, there might be an opportunity for you on there, especially if you're creating content. Get out there and check them out. Thank you so much to our partners at the Indigenous Screen Office, back to the podcast. What were the teenage years like for you? How did that work out?
My teenage years. I went to Hamilton High School in North Vancouver. It was good. I liked high school.
So you're too tall.
No, I wasn't. I met some tall people in high school. But I don't know what kind of tall people. As bakers, we know a lot of people, but we're very popular. We're very friendly people. But high school was kind of interesting. I went to public school. I kind of didn't like a lot of it because I wasn't into sports, and a lot of my cousins were into sports, basketball. They ran, they did baseball and stuff like that, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do sports, so for me it was really hard to project to hang. Didn't have too many people to hang out with. I had a couple of friends I hung out with, and I kind of got into the drugs, smoking the weed, and became a pothead for the first year of my life. I just turned about 14 or 15. I started going roller skating. My days were amazing. They had the roller rink in North Vancouver.
Yes.
They tore it down, and that's what we did for fun on weekends. We went roller
Was that
skating.
a
Stardust roller rink, yeah. It was the best.
Yeah.
And I actually had rental skates. I didn't have my own, so I was always really jealous for people that own their own skates.
Yeah.
But no, it was fun. Every Friday night we went skating. Saturday in the daytime I'd go. Sometimes at night. It was sometimes they had all night skating. But I met a nice man there. Yeah, I met a nice guy there. I actually married him. So I fell in love with him.
Is this him?
Yeah, that's Robert.
Put a mic on him.
Yeah.
What did you like about him?
He smiled a lot. I loved his smile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
Didn't like his drinking. He was a little bit older than me. He drank a little bit too much, but I gave him a chance. I said, "Do you want to go out with me?" He asked me out a couple times. I said, "Next time you see me, you better be sober."
Nice.
But I did know him when I saw him. I just didn't know I was attracted to him. So he asked me out once, and he was intoxicated. I said no.
Yeah.
He asked me out again, and I said, "Yeah, I'll give it a try." So we went out, and then Christmas Day he brought me to his home, and we were a couple.
Wow.
So we've been together.
Christmas Day, he brought you home?
To his home, yeah. After a few months dating, he brought me to his mom and dad's. So it was beautiful. They set the table. They're part French, so they set the table.
Nice.
And I never had that as a little girl. We didn't set the table like that. So it was so fancy. And
Very special.
his mother fell in love with me, and I really liked his mom. His dad was kind of a little bit distant, but I got to know him.
Yeah.
So most of my teenagehood was actually with Bob.
Really?
And then I had our child when we were 16. I got pregnant very young. It was a really tough time for me. A lot of people say I was a child having children.
Yeah.
Biologically, my body, psychologically, I was okay with it because I was in love. Back in the day, in the 60s and 70s, it was really common for our generation, First Nations people, Indigenous women, to get pregnant because my mom didn't talk about contraceptives. She didn't talk about getting pregnant.
Right.
So for me, I just fell in love, and I got my pregnancy test, and my sister Heather brought me, my late sister, and they said I was 3 months pregnant, and I'd gotten home. And so a lot of my teenage was right from grade 10 on, and I just became a mom very young.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret having my son. He's 44 now. His name's Warren, and he's the most gentle soul you could ever meet. You'll love him. And he's a cook too, like his father.
Oh, really?
But yeah, so my teenagehood was, I had to grow up really, really fast. I had a lot of support in the community, so I was quite lucky. I was a teen mom.
Mm.
I didn't graduate high school though. That's one thing I missed out on, but I'll tell you about that later on when I get into my school years. My high school.
Jump into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
I had the child, 1981, June 1st. He was unexpected. He came early. My water broke going up Keith Road.
Really?
Bob had moved in with me. My
Nice.
dad said it's time for him to move in, and my mom was not happy.
No.
But I was so close to my due date.
Yeah, they wanted
He
him
moved
around.
in, and I got up to go to the washroom, and that was it.
Yeah,
I had the baby.
time for the baby.
And from there on, me and my husband raised, he was 17 when we had Warren, and
Wow.
we raised a child as teenagers. We did really well, actually. And I moved out just a month before I turned 19. We moved up Lonsdale. So I moved off reserve, and we were saving up for months. We had a closet full of like toasters, and we saved up for towels, like a little hope chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every time he got paid, he'd give me money. We'd go shopping, and and then so we moved out, and it was great. We moved up Lonsdale. It was an older building, but it was great. He was a cook on Lonsdale, fish and oyster bar, and we used to go down for free fish and chips, and he used to give my dad free clam chowder, and Mom loved it because he brought her all the coleslaw, and so he kind of got on Mom's good side. All he had to do was feed her and treat me well. Like,
There
don't
you
ever
go.
disrespect my daughter. And she'd put her hand up. She'd go like this to him. Yes. You're going to get this. Yeah. And then he would mouth her
Sounds
off
like a
and
good
say,
Squamish
you haven't
woman.
got me yet. And she goes, you watch it. And I'm like, Mom, you're going to scare him away. I plan on marrying this guy, okay?
That's right.
You're not marrying him. But yeah, it was pretty good times, Got married when I was 21. We got married in St. Paul's Church. It was beautiful.
St. Paul's Church. Everyone here got married at St.
I got
Paul's
married in a
Church.
church. My husband had to study the Bible, and he's Protestant, so he doesn't really practice the God
Catholic.
or Jesus. But anyways, he did the Bible study, and we got married, and I think we had 110 guests, maybe 120. Beautiful wedding. We had it up the Legion, the old Legion on
Oh,
Lonsdale.
yes. Yep.
And then it was pretty cool. We had a big, huge beer keg and open bar. And my mom and dad didn't drink for years, but they celebrated that night. So it was pretty cool. They got to, celebrate our wedding. And I think about, I was pregnant when we actually got married. Lucky I wasn't drinking. I went to the doctors. I went to see Bob at work, went to the doctors, and found out I was pregnant with Katrina.
Wow.
So my son and our daughter were a few years apart, 5 years apart.
Yeah.
So, and we just kept continuing, and that was my life as a teen mom and into adulthood, into marriage.
Wow.
Wow.
Were you working as well?
No,
No.
Bob didn't make. I couldn't work back in the day in the 80s because the rent was so high that if I was to work, I'd land up just be paying it on daycare.
Yeah.
So the cost of living was really, really not good back in the 80s. It was approaching the 90s. It was too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, rent back then was probably $700 for a 2-bedroom. Maybe like today, that's gold, right? But today you get like a little cubby hole to live in, right?
Oh, you're lucky.
You're lucky to even get a nice home for $700. 300? Was it 300?
900 for a 3-bedroom
There you go.
900 for a 3-bedroom.
3-bedroom. There you go.
with a swimming pool there and everything.
Yeah, we had a pool. It was so cool. It was really nice.
You miss it.
Well, he had 2 jobs. He worked in a bar at night, so sometimes
So
he
you
got-
worked in a restaurant in the day, a bar at night. We are going to have to mic him up.
Well,
here.
we had to really work. I mean, I wasn't gonna raise 2 children and
Live
go
in
to work.
poverty.
There's no way I could. And today they do it. They got daycare, but I couldn't even get government subsidy. It was really hard back in the day
Right.
to live on, and living off reserve was not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised on the reserve, so for me to leave the reserve and try to survive on the outside world, it was difficult. It was a change for me.
How so?
Being around the culture, being in an interracial relationship, a lot of people were racist towards me being with Bob. It was hard, but we didn't care. We loved each other. We were young parents. We were warriors. We made ends meet, and we struggled. I mean, there's days where financially, economically, we weren't even making it sometimes, but we just kept going. We fought, and I wasn't going to move back home. I was the last out of 8. I wanted my mom and dad to have their time, you know. So I think it was a few years after I'd gotten married, my father had passed away in 1991. Wasn't it 1991? He passed away. We got married in 86, 5 years after he had passed away.
What's a family story that stands out to you from your dad?
I think for my father would be his transparency to people. Being in a very cultural, we come from language. We come from the Squamish Nation, so my dad didn't speak English till he was about 7 years old. He grew up in Chikai, up in Indian Reserve number 24. I can't remember if that's the number, but he grew up in Squamish, so he didn't really. It was like his actions were. He just did things. You never had to tell my dad what to do. He just did it.
Wow.
He worked. I remember Christmas Day we didn't see him. He was longshoreman. There were many Christmas Eves without him. Mom would be doing all the shopping on her own for 8 kids, and he provided a lot. Like a lot of our family, we had a lot of addiction and alcoholism in my family. So he sobered up when he was in his mid-50s. He quit drinking. It kind of came between my mom and dad's marriage. So I was 12 years old. I was mad at my dad because he was drinking a lot, and he would make my mom cry. And I don't want to remember that about him, but I did. I had to. In order for me to get through that past of feeling so angry at my father, I had to deal with, why am I mad at him? Well, we had abandonment issues.
Right.
You know, I mean, there were days where my mom didn't see him for 18 hours. He was out partying.
Wow.
The day he came back was, I think it was August. My mom left him just a little after Christmas. He'd stayed with his mom and dad's in their mom and dad's old house down in Oslo on First Street down on the reserve down there. And I remember him coming back home. My mom told him, if you want to come back, you got to sober up. So I had to do a lot of soul searching to actually forgive him. When they got back together, I was so happy, and I grew up. My dad never ever answered my mom back when she was angry or if she was worried about something. My dad never ever did anything to hurt her. He would do anything for my mom. So growing up with my dad, seeing my father, he was a working man. He came from language. When he went out, I remember going shopping with him one day, and we had to go pick up some cake mix. And my mom was pissed off because we went to this Chinese market on Keith Road. It was called Keith Market, and Dad kept bumping into everyone. So he'd start walking up the road. He'd see Jimmy Dehaney. And then he'd be like talking to Jimmy for like 10 minutes. I'm like, Dad, we got to go. Mom's going to get mad. We got to get that cake, right? Okay, we go up the road again. We bump into Harry Baker, his nephew. I'm like, Dad, we got to go. We're like 2 minutes from the road. We're 2 minutes from the convenience store. And then we go up the road. He's talking to another family member. We get up to the store, and the bloody store is closed.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
No.
So growing up with my dad, there's always something going on. You know, if he wasn't in trouble, he was in good trouble, you know.
Yeah.
But growing up with him, he was my best friend.
Nice.
I think I have his genes. I look a lot like my father. I apparently have my mom's spirit. I have her strength. But my dad, man, he's my hero.
Did he ever tell you any family stories or anything like that from back in the
He
day?
didn't talk about it.
Nothing?
He didn't talk about his parents. He talked about lacrosse. He was a lacrosse player. He's a really good player. He talked about canoe pulling.
Did he ever tell you how? I've been searching for this answer for a long time, ever since we started the podcast. But did he ever tell you about how lacrosse made its way here? Do you know how lacrosse made its way here? If not, no worries. We can edit that out.
No, a lot of it originated from back east.
Yeah,
from back east. I know from way back in the day from the 1920s. They used to call it hockey in back east in Canada, the Colatans, the non-native. And then when it originated back, his nephew, Ray Baker, he was an amazing lacrosse player. A lot of them, the Baker boys all played. There was Ray Baker. He was influenced by a lot of his uncles. Ray Baker was his cousin. He played lacrosse. His brothers played lacrosse. All the relatives played lacrosse. So I think with him, he mainly just joined the team. I don't know where the history came from. I can't answer that, but I do know that he was one of the original lacrosse players from the 1940s.
Yeah.
And he was a good player. He was fast.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He's slender. He also canoe raced.
Yeah.
He was a warrior puller. So, but no, his lacrosse came from his descendants, from not only the Baker family, but from the Squamish Nation.
Yeah.
He played with teams back east. They traveled. I think he traveled a bit more canoe pulling, more than in lacrosse. But from the lacrosse, I'd have to say he was handed the stick down from his descendants, from his grandparents. Not just the Bakers, but all the Squamish, the Josephs and the Lewis. That's from what I remember with lacrosse with my dad.
Cool.
Yeah, it originated from his descendants. But it gave him the stick,
Yeah.
put it in his hand and said, learn. He took the stick, he became a really good lacrosse player.
I'm trying to find that story. So if you ever hear it, give me.
I will definitely get that story for you.
I'm trying to find that story because I really want to know. Because when I was growing up, we would come to camp here. We'd come to lacrosse camp here, just down on, near the Elder Center.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
they had it there, and then they had some.
up Lonsdale maybe.
Yeah, up Lonsdale.
Up Lonsdale.
What is it? I
Harry
can't
Jerome
remember.
Center. Yeah.
Thank you, Harry Jerome
we,
Center.
Harry Jerome
we
Center.
played. We did outdoor exercises outside on the field, and then we would go play.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
field lacrosse.
And then we'd
Yeah.
go play box same time in at the Harry Jerome.
Wow.
So I learned a lot of great techniques here that I brought back to Mission where I was playing
Nice.
at the time.
Good for you.
And
All the boys
Excuse me.
played
All
lacrosse,
of us boys
right?
played
Yeah,
lacrosse.
everybody. Well, I think except Nick. He was the only one that didn't. But
Oh,
three of the
wow.
boys played lacrosse.
That's a tough sport.
Well, Nick is on the spectrum. So sports, he's better at like single sports.
But you're
like,
younger boy.
He's the oldest.
Oh,
He's
the
same
oldest.
age
Yeah,
as
same age.
You're the
Riel.
youngest. Same age.
No, the youngest is the tallest. Tyler's
Oh,
the youngest.
Tyler.
Tyler's the baby, and he's actually
The baby giant.
6. Yeah, baby giant. He's like 6'3", and he's a big guy.
His feet are like this big.
But his favorite shoes are these flip flops with turf on them. So he likes this. Like
Oh
they
my
have
God.
grass on them. Favorite shoes.
You know, the only one that could sell shoes is Amazon. Our son has size 15.
Size 15. See,
Size 15. I don't know where he gets that from. His dad doesn't have very big feet. He's got
Our-
10, size 10, I
Jared,
think.
could you please
I'm
pass my
telling you,
water?
our Catalano family, we're big people. They come
That's
from
all- that's
those sacred people.
Oh, sure,
Do you want to grab
sure.
my water, sister?
Yes, absolutely. You know, we
This is so much fun. Oh my God.
our people.
See, we're chilling
They
now.
were big people. They came from big people.
Yeah, we
you
come
know?
from very tall men.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were tall because the food back then it wasn't like
Healthy. They
you check the
we
camera?
did nutritionally
Wellness
start
check?
us in our people in residential school, right?
well, they're all kind of like
And they experimented on them, so they create a lot of health problems.
We
in
need
our
to eat healthier.
peoples. Yep.
you know if they I always said to my husband told me if they ever raise the price of junk food, get this, they raise the price of junk food
Kids would eat healthier.
and put the produce, the meat, down.
Yeah.
They'd have no choice but to eat better.
Yeah. That is
Because we never ate like this.
no.
I mean, even the granola bars are packed with sugar.
I know.
You know,
well,
we-
everything uses processed sugar.
Disgusting,
too.
you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So our boys, they're
We ate
big
good.
guys, right?
Yeah.
And they're healthy because they eat better and
Eat
We
much
ate
better.
good growing up too.
Oh, you're lucky. Yeah.
they got fed well.
Well,
They still like to come home to eat.
there's one thing I want to share with you. A traditional food that when I was a little girl growing up on Mission, also on reserve, I remember going to the Natrell house and at late Andy Natrell
Yeah.
and Bernie Nahaney. She married Keith Nahaney Jr.
Yep.
And anyways, I went to Uncle Andy's house, and I was probably about 10 years old. And our new house was getting built up on 4th Street by Osahan, just before where Auntie Frida lives, just right in the back. And I remember living down on Esplanade at my late Uncle Billy's home. And Bertie says to me, "You got to come over and try some soup." I was like thinking, chicken noodle soup?
Yep.
And I get in there and I look in the pot and I'm like, oh, there's a fish head in there. Oh my God. I'm looking down there and the stench, it smelled so good. For some reason, that steam, I love the smell of it. And then so Andy says, well, do you guys want some ice cream? You know, I'm 9, 10 years old, man. I'm like, everybody likes ice cream.
Yep.
Right?
I want soup.
And I'm like a trickster too. Like I'll do anything to get what I want, right? So I'm in there and they pull out the soup and then he's pouring it out and he grabs the head of the fish, takes the eyeball out. And he says, I want you to eat the eyeball. I'm like, no freaking way I'm eating that eyeball. And Bertie's like, yes, you have to eat it or you're not going to get any ice cream. And she's like a lot, this is small Bertie telling me what to do. And I'm like way taller. I'm like, why is she being like this? Why are they trying to make me eat fish head and fish eyes?
Yep.
And so anyways, I remember eating it and it was kind of like gummy, but in the middle of the eye, it was like, you ever have a boiled egg? Mm-hmm. And you eat the egg in the middle, it's like tastes like egg.
Yeah.
But anyways, I don't know if you ate an egg before.
I've eaten a fish eyeball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you have had one.
Yeah. So when you bite in the middle of fish eyeball, it's like a runny egg, but the taste is like fish. Yeah. That's what it tastes like. It's like fish sauce. It's like the most powerful fish that explodes.
It's supposed to be brain. So it's apparently supposed to be brain food, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
But I don't know if my husband's tried it, but I'd like we got to break Bob in. Right, Rail? Bob, you got to try some fish eye soup. Hey, Jim, we'll get Jim in there too. He's my new friend.
Jimmer, let's go, Jimmer.
Jim.
So, I wanted to eat a fish eyeball just after I caught a jackfish. We were back home in Manitoba, and pull it out.
Wow, what's a jackfish?
A jackfish is it's like a really aggressive trout, I guess you could say. Like really bony.
Big.
They're bony.
They're big.
They're big.
They're big too, yeah. And
they're good fighters on the line.
Yeah, they're really fun to catch.
Yeah, to fish.
They're not the salmon is like
hands down the best.
Way better, way better. You eat this because you caught it. Anyway, so I would cut it out. My dad cut it out for me, gives it to me, and if you knew my dad, have you met my dad? No.
No, she hasn't.
I'd like to meet him.
We'll bring him over here.
I want to meet
bring
him
him over.
He's how old is he? 62.
He's going to be 62.
He's about the maturity of a 16-year-old though. So he takes out
like my husband.
Yeah.
He's a big kid.
He takes his phone out. He's like, wait. Boop. Starts recording. He's like, he records me. I eat it, spit it, whatever. Spit it out over top of the boat. He's like, I can't believe you did that, bro. He's like going like making fun of me, teasing me on video. Like he was a 21-year-old kid at a frat party recording me. That's what he was like.
Oh man, he sounds like a great guy.
Oh, he's fun.
Quite funny.
He's funny.
He's
but yes,
That's
fish. So
amazing.
anyway, back to the point is that fish head soup was a traditional food that was.
It was very traditional. People are still our Squamish are still eating it. I mean, I won't eat it, never again, because it just wasn't
your thing. Yep.
I mean, I really honor the teaching from late Andy, Chief Andy Natrell. I really appreciate it because Bernie's a really good friend of mine. And, but a lot of our Squamish, I'm pretty sure all the West Coast, a lot of people are still eating it. It just wasn't for me. And our ancestors taught us to eat healthy. And I really like to see that food come back. Mm. Our traditional food.
Everything we got was from here. We were able to harvest
off the ground.
Everything that we needed to eat, and the range of food was huge, right?
Yeah.
Seafood, kelp, all those things.
Kelp, I tried kelp. Actually, speaking of fruit, my mom used to have a raspberry bush in her backyard. Oh, yeah. She grew her own raspberries, and Scott and Haney used to come over and steal them.
Little Scotty.
And Frida would like be like, Jimmy, go get Scotty. And he'd be a mouthful. And of course, we'd be in the bush with no shoes on. Wild little Indians, right?
Running
We were
free.
wild, man. We didn't wear shoes when we ran. We played out. We had the best times. I had a really good childhood. A lot of good memories. Talking about the fish really is bringing about like all that food that we grow on the ground,
Yep.
the berries. The berries today, they don't have trees. Do you remember eating those berries when you used to get them all, the purple ones?
Yes.
Do you remember the purple cherries? Anybody?
Yeah, they were.
And they would just stain all your clothes and your
yeah.
teeth would go. We used to pretend we didn't have teeth and we'd be like all buck tooth and making fun of each other. And it was hilarious,
So for the people that don't know who your grandfather was, do you mind telling us a little bit about who August Jack was?
Sure. August Jack was my mother's father. Hazel Johnson was her maiden name. He married Emma Jack. She was from Nanaimo, so I'm part Nanaimo.
Okay.
August Jack was I would say, back in the day, he was like a stewardship. He would know the demographics. The historian part of our maps of our lineage, where all the Holcomb, all the villages in Vancouver. He was kind of like a founder of all the land. He was a chief. I didn't know him very well, but from what I know today, that he was very strong. He was a very strong-willed man, and he loved family. His family was everything to him. He spoke the language. I got a couple of, there's a couple of passages. You read the book, right?
I love this book.
Yeah, and I gave this to you and your mom. I gave them a beautiful picture for Yvonne. But you can see in the book, the English is really old. I haven't read the whole book yet. I'm hoping to get to it and read it. But from what I know, my grandpa, he was a really good man. I wish I knew him. I truly believe I know his spirit. He's going to live within me. I want to carry his teachings down. Like, he's our descendant. I want to carry it down to my grandchildren. I actually have a niece that wants to learn. We're actually going to have a book club. We're going to start a book club on this book, and we're going to learn together.
That makes me so happy to hear.
That's so awesome.
I do know that if you look at the picture on this book here, that you could see my mom. She really, really resembles our daughter Lynn. She's got the same indent. He was really strong in regalia.
Yeah.
I wear the paddle vest too. But he was just amazing. I mean, he knew a lot of chiefs.
Yeah.
He was a voice for our people.
You could feel those masks, right? It was more than like he was connected to them.
He was a mask dancer.
Yeah, he was connected to them.
And I don't think anyone's going to forget him. These books are going viral. I mean, there's people this book was $36 back. I got this from Alban, one of our neighbors, but they're selling them now for up to $60.
Yeah,
Our Nations actually sells these too, and the language books. Yeah. But August Jack Hatsalano, all I can say about my grandpa is he left history. I didn't know him. I do know that he was strong in Mask. We come from the Mask family. It's been handed down to me that when you come from Squamish, you have to really carry yourself well, in the community, and that's been handed to me. I'm going to take that and I'm going to hold that within, because we can't lose it.
No.
I wish I knew him, but honestly, I don't know him. And that's what I remember my papa. He loved my grandma, Emma. So part of the Nanaimo, he sang a lot of Squamish songs. The paddle song he sang very fluent in the Snatcham. I don't really know much about Swanamiat, his wife, Emma Jack. She's from Nanaimo, so I didn't really get to know.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't
She was from.
I don't think it says that in the book.
No, it's not.
I think because they weren't paying attention to her, but she was very important. He talks about her.
He talks about
a
his
little
wife.
tiny bit,
a little bit,
a tiny bit.
I think there's a story that was shared about when they were removed from Snock
Oh yeah.
and put on the barge. The story is told from her perspective.
Mhm.
So it talks about the smoke being heavy and the men cheering in the background while they were burning down all the places and putting people afloat. So she talks about those impressions and how hard it was on their men because they were trying to gather everything they could. They were dealing with the smoke. They got
They were removed.
they were removed from Snock back in
Oh.
1918, right, when they put them on the barge. And they were towed over to Capilano. So the men spent weeks trying to house everybody, how to, trying to get things so that, people had shelter and food and were looked after. So she talks that story, and it was interesting because when I read it, somebody said that Squamish was his mother, but it wasn't. Squamish
wife.
was his wife,
Yeah.
and
Her last
his
name was
mom-
Joseph. Yeah. Joseph.
Yeah, and his mom, Castellano's mom, our grandmother, she had passed away in 1906. So
She was
she
young.
she passed away before
Mhm.
they were removed from Snock. So that they were, buried down in that area, and apparently they removed all of the people's
For the road.
graves too. They removed them as well and moved them up to the Upper Squamish Valley.
That's tough, like that. My grandpa had to go through that. Our grandpa.
Yeah,
We
well,
share the same papa. You
Yeah.
know.
So it was
Yeah.
it was very traumatic for our families to experience that trauma, right? Some of them just really, I don't think they got over it.
No, it's traumatizing how the genocide came in and they wiped us out. It didn't happen with just the land. It happened with our language. My dad was 7 when they took his language away from him.
Yeah.
The residential schools. That's why I have the shirt here.
Yeah.
My Caholt family. I belong to the Squamish Ocean Canoe family. And Cahampton, Bucky Baker, and Shucks, Larry Nahaney. We got this shirt made last year, and I'm hoping to wear this one year on the canoe, and this is going to stand out big time when we get to use it in the sun.
Yeah.
But I think that, August Jack, he was a land keeper. He was a warrior, a stompsh. They call us stompsh when we're warrior people. And we don't back down from nobody.
So,
And it's true, like we're all here for a reason, or descendants of, look at the history in front of us.
Yeah, he did.
Like it's
he did our people such a beautiful gift in sitting patiently and sitting to do this for all those years. I mean, it's 22 years of interviews, so it's such a stunning piece of work.
You knew Grandpa?
Yeah. Well, I didn't know him because I was very young too, right? I think I was only a few years old when he passed. So I was just a little
Tiny,
kid.
yeah. Like
I was so tiny.
I was 2 when Squamish, she passed away. I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
When his wife passed away. But she really loved me. I remember I shared with you earlier, Real, that she never put me down.
Yeah.
And I think this explains why my mom lived down Capilano.
Yeah.
She lived on the water, my mom.
Because this is where they ended up.
Stilts, yeah.
living
They lived
here.
on stilt houses, you know. How they lived back in the day was just it's amazing, and that book's actually one of the original older ones.
I can tell it's beautiful.
It's a little bit
fantastic.
yellow and
I would cherish this book. I have Granny's copy. I have my
Yeah.
Granny's copy.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know any what we're talking about here, so there was an archivist who interviewed August Jack Castellano, and he recorded a lot of the oral history that was put into the guy that interviewed him was called Matthews. What was his first name?
Major Skit
Yeah, there, yeah.
Matthews.
Major Shit Matthews?
Skit
Skit Matthews.
Matthews.
Skit Matthews.
Yeah.
Once more,
I thought
fella.
you said the other word. I was like, "Well, you can't be talking like that.
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
hang out your mom too long."
Yeah, that's right.
No, that's
Interviewed him between the years of 1932 and 1954, and then compiled it. And apparently, Mom told me this, he would take the transcripts that were provided back to him, take it to his daughter who was in residential school, who knew how to read English. She would read it back to him, make sure it was correct, and then bring it back. So he had a check system in what he was saying in here. And if you come from an Indigenous worldview and you read this book, it doesn't matter that Matthews is even in it, because there's so much knowledge and so much teachings in this book that it's special. You can't even. It's an easy book to. It's a hard book to read. There's so much knowledge in it, and he repeats himself a few times throughout the interviews too to make sure. And I feel like that's him trying to translate and make sure that the most important things are coming for. He talks about cold water baths in this a lot.
Slocum.
Yeah, Slocum. He talks about that a lot, and it's just beautiful. He draws out.
Look at the pictures.
I know. Yeah, this
is probably, you won't get that in the other book.
Oh, really?
You won't get those pictures in the new edition.
Well, they look a lot better in this edition.
Yeah, they're black and white.
They photocopied this book when they reproduced it, so the photocopies of the old type transcripts are harder to see properly.
So people are sleeping.
Yeah.
Like how people are sleeping in the potlatch house. Boom.
Up top.
Fire, fire, fire. Side by side on a platform. Just amazing.
The big house.
Just amazing. Duck hunting is in here. They would light fires on their canoes and go hunt them at night. So they'd swim up to the canoe and have a 3-pronged spear that would grab their necks and then pick them up, bring them back in the canoe.
All quiet.
All quiet.
Yeah.
And all balanced. There's a lot of good teachings. He also left the men a lot of good teachings in here too. And most of it comes from his mom, which is amazing. Yeah. Hi, my relatives. If you're enjoying this podcast, or if you have any feedback on this podcast, please let us know, because we're always trying to get better at the same time. But especially if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think we have some really cool projects coming out that you might want to check out. Please follow us on Spotify. Share our reels as well too. That helps us out so much. And yeah, just check us out. Share the word. We're working really hard to keep this content coming for you. And the support helps us out so much, and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for listening. Back to the podcast.
Beautiful. We come from we come from a long line of leadership. I wanted to talk a little bit about our leadership. The Baker side of my family comes from the Squamish Nation. We speak the language, we sing it, and we dance traditionally. I learned the song and dance in 2006. My husband had joined the Squamish Ocean Canoe family, and I was just in the midst of coming from addiction. I went to treatment, and I quit drinking for 6 years. Wasn't alcoholic, but I was definitely hand in hand in a very dark place. So my husband went to the Warriors group, Change of Seasons down in Capilano here. Ross Melforth and Nahalowitz, Robert Nahaney were running a men's anger management group. And my marriage was in turmoil through addictions. And this is my story of my addiction, of where it brought me to where I am today. My husband had joined the team, the Colt family, not team, I should say the Canoe family. He started going down there. It's located down in Mosquito Creek Marina. And Cahampton is a team lead on the Canoe, and Bucky Baker and Larry Nahaney, Shucks, and Lake Kanaka Nahaney. When Robert, my husband, started canoe pulling, I was really jealous. I didn't know what he had. I wasn't ready. I just didn't know what he had. And I was jealous. Sorry.
You're good.
My addictions were so bad. I was lost. I didn't know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted my dad so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband says to me, well, why don't you come down? I was so scared. I was shaking. And I walked down. We drove into the marina where I grew up. And they were so happy. They were so freaking happy. I couldn't handle it.
Oh.
It was a good, clean life.
Mm-hmm.
No alcohol, no drugs. There was no hate. There was no anger. And I remember laughing. I remember all the laughter because I love laughing. So my husband brings me up to the Canoe family. He says, I want you to meet my wife. And they're like, I know your wife.
Oh.
And I actually was home again.
Wow.
I was home to my people.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't afraid to be dark-skinned. I wasn't afraid to learn the language. And these are happy tears. This is rejoice. If you don't know rejoice in your life, this is rejoice. This is when you're born into spirituality. So I got in there. They were jamming, drumming and singing. We ate. There was so much food. There was just so much food. And they said, just eat whatever you want. And I started cleaning up. And then all the drums just started going. The men were drumming. And I sat down and they were singing the Caholt song. Ian Campbell, Hollick song. He did that Tribal Journey in, I think it was 1998 or up to Bella Bella. And I remember seeing all the paddles lined up when I came in and went up the stairs. I remember the smell of the cedar and the laughter, and I just wanted to be a part of it. Mm-hmm. And so we drum, and they start drumming all the songs, and I sat there and I cried. And Kanaka says to me, welcome home. Mm-hmm. And he said, this is yours. This belongs to you. Welcome home. So my husband did his first journey. Papasam, Vanessa Campbell gave him the name. Means bubbles of life. I truly believe he found himself.
Great name.
I believe my husband had found himself. You know, and I liked that Bob. I fell in love with him again. And that jealousy was gone. It was just out the window. And so 2-3 days a week we would meet down there, and I'd go see them off on the canoe. They go for canoe practice. And Joe knows they'd switch their seats and put the paddle in, and you know we call them the water people. And I would sit there on the rock, and I'd literally wait for them to come in sundown. Here they come down the corner. Whoo! They got their paddle, and they're doing all their little counts. But that's the time I knew I had to change my life. I had to find myself. And, you know, I always try to encourage our youth today that when you're angry and that, go near the water. You know, like if you're ever down, go near the water. Mm-hmm. Because we're the West Coast people, and that's where we live, by the water. Yep. You know, that's where I was raised, you know. But I think with where I'm going with this right now is going on the red road. Uncle Lawrence always told me, you're going to have one canoe in the foot and you're going to have one out, you're going to get hurt.
Right.
But then when I went to treatment in 2003, up in Alert Bay in Namgus, they said to me, you know, when you're on the healing journey, there's no clock on it. You heal at your own time. You never judge. Yeah. And so when I think about the last 20, 30 years of my life, I don't know anything else but culture. Yeah. I don't even know if I could survive out there off reserve. I don't think I could do it again. You know, my husband took into our culture. You know, I'm so grateful. But there's a lot of deep parts in my life that I had to conquer, and the canoe is what helped me. And I joined that in 2006. My first tribal journey was in Muckleshoot down the States. That was a tough pull. We were doing 10 hours on the water. And we used to get canoe butt.
Long days.
It felt like someone grabbed a stick and just hit you on the back of the leg as soon as you got off the canoe, and you have to stretch, and because you're sitting in one spot in your arms,
For
you're
hours.
working with endurance, and so you're also working with the spirits too. Like when you're pulling in the water and 29, 30 degrees water, and you're healing, and you just want to get to your next destination. You don't want to give up on what you believe in. Your spirit takes you through that water, and we've been into some pretty interesting places. We pulled water in 2009 or 10. We went to Squamish. It was a really huge tribal journey. I think there was something like 2,000 spectators.
Wow.
Incredible.
When we came ashore, and down in Squamish, they had the army base men come in, and they did a soft landing. And then we had to do protocol. We came in, and it was amazing because my skipper says to me, "You're going to cry." And I said, "What?" He goes, "Look over there, 12 o'clock. See all those people with the red T-shirts?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's all your Squamish elders." Oh my God. They
Holy.
brought all the
'Cause they
elders
came
down
up from
for
Seattle.
to Potlatch.
Beautiful.
And some of them were previous retired canoe pullers, right?
Nice.
And so I looked over, and he goes, "Look at the third one in." He said, "That's your brother Vern." And I just cried because Vern was like my second dad after I lost my dad, eh? So there was a lot of good things that came out of canoe. It's a strict life. I mean, nobody's perfect. It's a lot of, you learn about yourself.
Yeah.
You learn to be kind. You learn to be together, and you're traveling far distance. You're getting sunburnt. You're tired. You could be grieving or you could be happy.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what water you're on. I mean, I remember hitting maybe 9-10 foot swells in the water and digging our paddle down to where we almost tipped over. And the skipper always told me, if you believe in yourself and you know how to use that paddle, we will never tip. The Caholta's never tipped. So that highlight of my life, what changed my life, I think that's what changed my life.
Wow.
Out of my whole life was just being near the water. It's probably one of my favorite things that I can carry on from my father. They were all canoe pullers.
Yeah.
My grandma,
That's amazing.
Palaquia, she pulled canoe as well.
Why do they call it pulling canoes? Do you know why?
Well, you're pulling. You've got
'Cause
your
you're just
paddle.
pulling
You're
water.
just pulling
The
the
effort
water.
of-
You're pulling from the water, and you're pulling
Okay.
up, and you're pulling down.
Okay.
The purpose is to stay focused. So the sailor shy, when you look at the paddle here, right here, this is the handle. So when you're looking at the sailor shy here, if you're sitting behind me and we're pulling, you're behind me here, I'm pulling. We got to be in pace. If you're not in pace, then we're not going to make it.
Right.
We're not going to get anywhere. So this sailor shy here is what you will follow when you're behind me. Or if I'm behind you, I'll follow yours whilst you're pulling. So pulling canoe is all about pulling a paddle. This is
Gotcha.
your tool. This is what's going to save your life when you're in the water.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the canoe pullers, they'll make their own paddles. This one was made by my husband. I painted the canoe. My canoe name is Coog. I'll tell you a story about that later.
Nice.
Again, I'm a baker, right? There's a lot of us. So I put the copper in there because I found that, like, when I was in my healing journey, I felt that the copper, I was always looking up north.
Yeah.
So whenever I wanted to, when I was really down, I would always look to the North Mountain. And that's when I did my bath. 2008, February 4th, I went into the longhouse. You can grab that if you like. It's pretty
Yeah.
heavy.
And this is
What's that made out of again, Robert?
Red cedar.
Red cedar.
red cedar. So light. This is a ocean paddle.
Yes.
Right.
Ocean going canoe paddle.
Ocean going canoe
It's
paddle.
not a race paddle. It's the opposite.
Opposite of a race
Yeah, the
paddle.
racing paddles, they're more like a diamond, and they're lighter and thinner.
Okay.
These are longer and a bit heavier.
And the reason why is because it just gets at different depths, I guess.
That can cut towards a kelp. Like if you're in kelp, you push your paddle towards it.
Right.
Or if
So-
the waves are heavy, you can use that with white caps. Like if you're in the water with white caps, you'll form bubbles here when you're pulling really hard,
Yeah.
and it makes like a glottal sound. And when my skipper told me when the paddle makes a certain sound, and you're in pace and you're all watching that sail shy, that means you're pulling really good, and you're going to get somewhere in a good time zone. On the canoe, we don't use a clock.
Yeah.
We just go.
You pace.
We take breaks. We take breaks in the water. Sometimes in the middle of nowhere, like I think it was in the Squally. We stopped somewhere and there were rocks everywhere. And I remember how to use the washroom. And I was really mad at my skipper because he said, "You got to go to the bathroom. There you go."
Go in.
And I was like, "What? You want me to walk all over those rocks?" And they had big holes. Like if you stepped on a rock wrong, you're going down. You're breaking your ankle.
Wow.
Wow.
So I took the paddle with me one day. I put the paddle in one hand and I just used it like a cane. Did I ever show them? It's like, I'm going to the bathroom, man. I'm taking my paddles. So that's why some of them are shaped different. Skipper's paddles are huge. These are just a general size paddle. It usually goes by the length of your arm too.
Okay.
So if you stand up and you grab the paddle hand and you stretch out, you should have it length. That's how you know the paddle's going to fit
like
you.
it should be this long.
No, like this. You're going to be like this. You're going to hold it like this and stretch it out.
Okay.
So when you're grabbing it, you have to make sure that you're pulling up and you're pulling down. You don't want it too long because then you're going to be hitting the side of the canoe.
Right.
So there's a reason why some of these are built like this. This one's a bit thicker. It was a little bit time to get used to, but the last journey I did was 2018 to Puyallup was my last tribal journey.
It was.
And then COVID hit. COVID came in, so
that's right.
we took the Caholt off the water and we just gathered in the wintertime and we danced and we sang and we ate and we hung out. But no, this paddle's been sitting since 2018.
Wow.
And those canoes get woken up every year.
Yeah, we do ceremony. We do them every March, April. We do cedar blessing.
Yeah.
And we invite our people in from our reserves and people that want to come learn about it. Sometimes we recruit people in.
Yeah.
But we do ceremonial. The girls get wrapped. The guys will line up, our brothers, and they'll drum and sing 4 songs.
Yep.
And we go around 4 times and we do cedar blessing. We even do our paddles if we want.
Beautiful.
Wow.
And we're usually in regalia. I don't wear my regalia. There's a reason why canoe pullers don't wear the regalia.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we're giving up our spot as a dancer. So when we put this away, we're actually giving that energy to bless that canoe. So that's why I don't use this when I bless. I was told not to use it by my Uncle Lawrence.
Okay.
Some people will, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own belief, right?
Little teachings.
That's I think that's heavy.
That's heavy?
I don't know. My husband made it, but let's put it back. You want to put it back there?
It's gorgeous. How did you make it?
Fabulous.
Is it just one single piece of cedar and
And carved.
carved?
Oh.
We used a bit of a grinder on parts of it, like a sander.
And it all took place at the
Grinder.
canoe
From a
club.
plank.
It's from a plank. Okay, gotcha. That's so. when you're in the canoe, you're mentioning people like the skip, and then are people positioned in a certain way, or how does that work?
Well, I think we have 8 seats or 10.
Yeah.
I sit right in front of the skipper. We're called clam diggers. We're the ones that dig really deep, and the skipper always. He balances each side when we're pulling.
Yeah.
So he calls all the shots. They have the clam digger seat 1 and seat 2. The middle is usually for ones that are beginning,
Right.
new pullers. And we usually put our food, we harvest our food in coolers and stuff. And then there's 3 other seats above. They got bow pullers. Bow pullers are the ones that pull up front and they're really hard reaches. You got to pull up really hard. So they're called bow pullers. They all have their own job. I mean, the bow pullers will steer. They steer a lot. We use the skipper will use his paddle to steer us if we need to turn.
Right.
Yeah, so there's lots of positions.
And the skipper's at the back?
He's at the back.
Okay.
I'm in front of him.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, me and my husband would pull in front of him or another puller.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and you have to earn your seat. You don't just get the seat. I mean, I remember leaving for 1 year, and I thought I was going to go back in the clam digger seat. Well, guess what?
Nope.
I was in the middle.
In the new seat.
No, I was out of shape. I didn't come back for a year and a half, and he said, "Cougs, you're in the middle," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yep." And Bob's like, "Don't worry." I said, "Okay, I got to work my way back." But you know, there's a lot of things that you learn. You learn a lot about yourself, actually, more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you got to be kind.
Yeah.
But you get a nickname. So anyways, I got Coug. People know me from West Coast, all the way from up north, down Washington and down the islands. We were canoe pulling, I think it was in, what was that place called? Bob, what was that place called where we went, where they used to have that outdoor, Coupeville. Coupeville hosted us, their non-native society that we'd go in, and they give us a resting spot. Anyways, me and Skip sat down on the shore and let the team go eat. All the pullers got to go eat because we couldn't leave the canoe alone because you had to tie it to a rock or that canoe's going, right?
Yeah.
And the tide was really hot, really high in Coupeville. The waves were just going. So we sat down there and we had water. And he says, "Well, let's go up." All the canoe pullers came down. So we went up to see Coupeville. We welcomed, thanked them. I said thank you in our language, and we ate. And anyways, I went ahead of Shucks, and all these guys were standing in front of me, and they were admiring my arms. And so each canoe puller, gets a nickname. So I get back to the canoe, and he didn't. My canoe family didn't say nothing, but they had this in the plan that they were going to give me Coug. So, anyways, we got back after Coupeville. We got down to the tenting spot, and we're out marshmallowing, campsite. You know, we finished potlatching and drumming and singing. We had an early night. Went back, had some pop, water, and marshmallows, and sat around and laughed. We drum and we sing. And then I go up to the water jug, and someone says, "Hey, Coug, pass me a water." I'm like, "What? I'm not a cougar." So I'm happily married. So everywhere we go, they know me as Coug. Like, no shit, they know me as Coug, right? Okay, so here's a difference between cougar and Coug.
Okay.
Okay.
You're a young man.
Yeah.
You're a married man. Okay, young, non-married, married. So a cougar, what does she do? She tries to go with young
Men.
Okay.
Okay.
I got my name because I used to get hit on that canoe.
They hit on you.
But
But you wouldn't hit on them.
this is actually no. I had no interest. I had my man.
Yeah.
I got Bubbles. I
Therefore,
got the face.
you're Coug.
So Coug is short for the one that gets preyed on. The one that gets preyed on. Oh my God, I can't believe I shared this damn story. I was wondering when this day was going to come. My skipper's going to, oh man.
I love it.
And my cousin came to Bucky. I don't think Bucky liked me being called Coug.
No.
Because you know, he's a highest linguistic teacher, one of the smartest, sharing the language of Squamish in the school district 44. And I'm like, so I just went with it.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I was going to get another name because I used to toot on the canoe after I ate, right? And
So
I would
you'd rather have Coug.
I would blow one, and then my skipper would say, "Holy crumb!" You know how the Nahanis are always so proper, right? So he was going to call me "woman blowing in the wind." I thought, no, that cannot be. So I stuck with Coug. I stuck with Coug. I thought Coug would be okay, but for now, I don't know if I'm going to hang on. I can't get rid of the name. I've tried
No,
to.
it's
It's
stuck.
too late.
Even my husband calls me
know.
Coug.
What's Robert's name on the canoe?
Papasum.
Papasum.
No, it's Bubbles.
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 Bubbles. He's full of life.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
From Trailer Park Boys, because he had these big glasses, so they named him Bubbles. I mean, if they
love
joked
it.
around with you and they gave you a nickname, People
loved
wait
you.
years to get a nickname. He got a nickname within a freaking month.
Yeah, you gave it to me.
I did too.
Jeez.
Well, you're the one that introduced me down there, so
Yeah.
That's
I don't know
right.
if you
Be
guys can
careful
hear
what you-
Robert, but no, that's our. We everybody's got canoe names. We got Dreamer and who else do we have?
Flint.
Flint.
Donna Moody's husband, and Flint. Who else was that? Stretch.
Everyone.
Lindsay
Yeah.
Hubley Baker from Squamish. She was Stretch because she's tall and she had long. She was a bow puller too. So
Stretch. That's a good one.
she was
That's a good
amazing,
one.
tall and lengthy, very strong bow puller.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of good times for sure.
I'd be sinker because I'm so heavy.
Well,
I'd be anchor.
we're gonna get him on the canoe. We're gonna get you canoe pulling.
I would love to pull a canoe.
I'd love to have you come down and meet the family.
Please.
Yes.
I would be so honored. It'd be so fun. Mom would be so proud of me.
Mom
Yeah,
could come too.
absolutely.
Mom,
Yeah.
that's her family too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Auntie
Yeah,
Frida.
I'm more of a stand on the shore and quick girl. I'll bring up the rear. I'll drive the van. I'll cook the
Road
food.
crew.
I'll shop.
Yay!
I
My
am
husband
all
was
road crew and no boat crew.
Mom, tell her the story of the seal. Why you don't like the water? Why can't you?
When I
Oh.
was in my 20s, my dad used to take us fishing, and we would go up the Fraser. So he had found a spot he really liked just near Harrison Mills.
Oh, it's
So
nice up there.
It's beautiful, and you have to pass through from Harrison Mills where the river's confluence.
Wow.
He takes us there on his little tiny 12-foot aluminum boat. He's got the gas tanks in the back with the motor. So we're sitting in the boat as close to the front of the boat with my first husband.
My first husband.
Yeah, I'm saying my first husband because believe me, after that he was definitely going to be the first husband. He was going.
Okay.
So we get out in the boat, we're going down, we're going fishing. Dad's got the net there, he's got the extra gas tank, he's got everything, and he's sitting at that end, and I'm watching it, and I'm watching that thing be really low. So we go through the confluence in the river, and we're heading down now the Fraser, and he pulls into an area where there's an eddy, and he likes setting his nets there because it kind of, there's a sandbar, and then there was this like really strong eddy
Wow.
that was going and turning. And so he starts to pull the net out, and we put my first husband on a rock because he couldn't swim. So he's standing there with his life jacket
Holy Christ.
on the side of the, like waiting for us, okay? I'm in the boat, I'm kind of watching things at that end to keep the weight up. And Dad's throwing the net in. Well, all of a sudden, the water starts coming over the back where the motor is. It comes over the back of the boat. So we're starting to stand up, and the boat is going down like fast, really fast. So the boat goes down, and I'm yelling and yelling. And Dad's like, it's okay, I'm going with the boat. I'm like, you can't go in the boat. Well, he's gone swimming back down after his boat. And there were a dad and a boy fishing on one side, my soon-to-be ex-husband standing on the rock, and there were a couple of boys from Chehalis, there were native boys that were fishing on the other side. They had set their
Wow.
nets. They heard me yelling, and they looked over and they saw the boat going down. They saw us, and by that time I was stuck swirling in the eddy.
That's scary.
And I couldn't move. I could not get out of it at all. And I felt something touch my feet. It was a seal.
Oh.
That silky pushed me out of that current of the eddy. And when I got pushed out, it was just enough that I managed to get so I could swim to the shore. And I crawled out, and I was sitting there waiting. And then, by that time, these guys had cut their nets. They came over and they pulled my dad out in the boat, and they emptied it. They managed to get it.
Was he okay though?
He was okay. So they actually, when they had done that, they must have had a fast boat because they were like there really fast. So they pulled the boat out, they got my dad back in the boat, They came up and they picked us up, and then they towed us back through the confluence back up to where we were staying in Harrison Mills. Last time I ever went fishing.
No, don't go. You shouldn't
Last
go
time I
again.
ever went out in a boat again. Like I
Mm.
didn't. It was years before I would actually get even on a ferry. It
Well,
was
that's
so
scary.
bad.
What
It
you
was-
went
it
through,
was
you're
very frightening.
traumatized. Yeah.
So, you know, those boys from Chehalis, they saved our lives, right? They came and they bailed us out.
And that seal is what gets me. That touching her foot.
That seal, yep. And
You
I knew
know?
it because I had boots on, and the boots came off. I had bare feet, and I could feel it touching
That's
me.
powerful.
So I know that I, you know, our animals, they listen to us, they help us, they care for us.
That's so true.
Now every time I see a seal over on Cap River, I give him a little thank you.
Cap River, he's a Cap River boy.
He's down there all the time.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
But
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you.
I love that story. I remember hearing that story at Sundance the first time, being like, "What? It's crazy." Because I forget what we were doing. We were supposed to go on a boat somewhere, and something happened. But
Would you like to be a guest on Our Storytellers? Because all you have to do to connect with us is just email info@ourstorytellers.ca, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. That sounds like a voicemail, which I think is hilarious. But if you email us, we'll give you a call and we'll listen to your story, and we'll probably film it. So please reach out to us if you're interested in being a guest, because we love to share stories from all walks of life, from all different experiences. We think that everybody's story is valuable and that you can learn from anybody's story. So please email us, and we'll schedule a call with you as soon as we can. That also sounds like a voicemail, but back to the podcast.
anyway, what are you doing today? Are you running a business today? Is that what's happening?
Right now I work for the Squamish Nation Finance Department. I'm accounts payable admin support.
Well, you're running a big business.
That's what I'm doing now. I used to have my own company called Thunderbird File Management Consultant. I used to help bridge Squamish Nation small businesses just do their startup business. I used to consult their permits, their marketing strategy. I did their filing, a bit of bookkeeping. That didn't last too long. My husband landed up getting sick and I had to get a job. COVID went through, I wasn't getting hired, but the consultant job was amazing. I got to meet so many different streams of people, work with rights and title. I worked with small business entrepreneurs, from artisans to consultants to construction workers, house builders, and I helped them uplift their company. One company I worked with was Talese Tours. I did all her Candace Campo's work. I did a lot of filing for companies that didn't have time to do their filing. You know, records pile up when you're running business. So I did that for a couple of years. And then COVID came in. My husband got sick. I can't remember which year. I think it was 2020. And I had to go look for work. So I landed up kind of headhunted by Dennis Murphy from finance. They saw my company on Facebook, that it was Squamish, and this woman looks really interesting. So Bob had brought me a piece of paper home. My husband, that's where he works as well. And a few days later, he had a stroke. And it was probably the hardest thing I had to ever go through in my life.
Yeah.
It was a good stroke, and our family kind of almost fell apart. So I had that piece of paper, and I took it to the hospital to see my husband at Lionsgate Hospital, and I says to him, you know, we had all the doctors do evaluation on him, and it was really hard for me. I thought I was going to lose him. Our children were devastated. His friends, the Canoe family, was devastated. They thought like he wasn't going to come out of it. And so a couple of days later, he's getting feisty, so I know he's getting better. He's running his mouth and telling me what to do.
Telling
And
her off.
he was on morphine, hitting on the nurses. I thought, okay, he's getting better now. Okay, so I pull out of my purse. I pull it out. I says, "Hey, honey, I got that paper you gave me." I says, "What do you want me to do with it?" And he says, "What?" So I showed him, and it was a job description for Squamish Nation Finance.
Wow.
Oh,
And I wasn't going to take the job, and he says to me, "Take it."
Nice.
So I am a businesswoman administrative.
Nice.
That's what I do. I like to help people. I love working with, our vendors that provide services to run our nation.
yeah.
I don't talk about work at home. I leave it there. It's not easy working for the nation.
Yeah.
It's could be deep at times where you're powerless over certain things that you can do for people that are in need. Economically, we're not in a good place. But yeah, I'm a businesswoman. On weekends, we hang out, we do dinners. You had a good example of our feast tonight.
It was delicious.
Fantastic.
We travel off our hours. We bought a new motorhome. We're going to be heading to Saskatchewan this summer. We're going to go on a 3-week journey.
Nice.
And I'm hoping to pop in to see you guys. She lives in
Yeah.
Alberta.
So I said, when
So,
you go through Edmonton, you got to come back that way.
I'll
Oh.
definitely take some pictures for you guys. We're going to be stopping in.
Oh, fantastic.
I want to stop in the Rockies area. I really love the mountain. I think a lot of my influence, it comes from. I didn't want to forget her. Tanalth was her name. You may know her as Honey Girl, Gloria Nahaney.
Yep.
She taught me a lot about who we are, where we come from.
Yeah.
She was my first healing circle. In 2002, I went to Osahan and did my upgrading in high school. I was a teenage mom, and I dropped out of high school, and I landed up taking a GED course, and I thought, okay, I need to learn how to write. I went in to do some computers and learned so much stuff there, and she has embedded into my heart that you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. And I didn't want her forgotten in this podcast. She revitalized the powwow. Her daughters still dance, and her grandchildren are dancing now, and we get a lot of visitors from up south, and so I just wanted to let you know, Real, that she is a big part of my life, and I miss her dearly. She taught me a lot of who I am today and where we come from, the Baker side. She married Keith Nahaney Sr. To a very August Jack family as well, Auntie Frida.
Yeah.
So our ties are pretty tight, and when I'm off work, I don't like to talk about work. I like to talk about our culture, and I didn't want to forget about her. She's dearly missed right today. I miss her immensely. I sometimes cry for her when I'm sleeping. I have dreams about her, and in the winter time, I go to the big house. I was put in the longhouse, and I wear the paint. I was initiated in the longhouse February 4th, 2008. Shortly after my mother-in-law had passed away, I was spiritually lost. I was depressed. I suffered with depression, and she was actually my first healing circle at Osahan. So she kind of opened the doors for me and a lot of other people, Squamish people and people that were married in that took the adult course at Osahan. From there on, I moved into the longhouse after my first tribal journey in 2007, pulling canoe. I learned a lot of letting go, how to let go of what's ailing you. In the culture, we don't talk about what ails us. We only feel. When you're looking at someone, you could almost see what they're feeling. And I don't think everybody knows they have this gift. I think everybody, how they perceive things in life today is so different from how we perceive things back in the 1960s and 70s. We talk about how people drive today, their cars. People are just, the population, the demographics in BC alone. You look at how many people are working today? How many people are doing startup companies? Right? We don't know. You don't know until you research it, right? So I think where I'm going with this is our generation today, those phones are ruining us. They are just taking so much of our headspace that we're forgetting to put our feet on the ground. You know, when we tap and we drum and sing our traditional songs, whether it's in the longhouse or whether it's traditional or when you're banging those drums, that drum beat is that man's heartbeat. You never ever sing louder than you drum. Today, they drum so hard. And that's that tool you have and that belief that you have that honey girl, Tanal, she embedded in my brain that when you're dealing with culture, you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful how you conduct yourself. And I feel like technology is not what you do, but this is so authentic that we're talking. But I think the phones and the computers have overridden us in the business world, and the teenagers, they don't come out of the rooms anymore. And they don't do what we're doing right now. What we're doing right now. And it's young people like you. Keep doing what you're doing. Because this stuff, what I'm saying, you can't find in a book.
No.
You know, I always tell my nieces and my nephews that carry Queen Shaman ancestral names, you're not going to learn anything at home watching Netflix.
Yep.
You're not going to learn it there. You're going to learn it when you go to that ceremony. When those doors open, that's when you walk in.
Yep.
And you sit down and you be quiet and you listen and you learn and cry if you need to cry.
Yep.
Laugh if you need to laugh. But leave your footprints there. Because if you don't walk into those buildings, you're never going to learn.
Yeah.
We need to get focused more on back to the basics, you know. And today, when I'm actually thinking of when I semi-retire, I'm probably going to get into sewing. I'm actually thinking of doing regalia.
Beautiful.
My family comes from a lot of culture from my father's side, and my mother's side comes from protocol. And I don't know where I'd be without culture. I don't think I can make it. I couldn't make it out there without this anymore. I don't know that anymore.
Well, it isn't you anymore.
It's not me.
You walk that traditional way.
And I'm so happy.
And you carry that knowledge going all the way back, pushed all the way forward too.
And I don't know that I know this. Like there's times where I don't even know I know all this. I don't, because when you enter that, wherever, it doesn't matter where you come from, what color your skin is, how you speak, what you look like, it's how you feel. Yeah. But if you don't get deep inside those feelings and you don't take that medicine, when you have opportunity for someone to help you, take it, because once it's gone, it's taken. They can take that paddle away from me any day. They could take that book, they could take my hat away, they could take my name away. You have to maintain it, and it's not easy because I'm not perfect. You know, every morning when I get up, I have to literally get up 15 minutes a day to say, be nice to this fucking world we live in. Because there's days where I wake up and I'm so freaking angry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, be nice today.
Yeah.
But how can you be nice when you haven't finished healing? You know, and some of us are, some of us are grieving still. I mean, you look at the addiction overdoses in our community. It's immense. You know, I've lost a nephew, tragically, 2 of them recently, 2 years. So I'm still grieving. And, you know, with my grieving, I don't really talk about it too much because we're going to be setting ceremony for mask. We're going to have memorial, and you know, if we keep calling their names, we're not ready to prepare for this journey that we're doing for the ceremony. It's a really sketchy ground that we're on right now, that we have to be really, really careful that when we're where I am today is at the peak of my junior elder. I'm not always going to be here.
Yeah.
My husband almost lost him twice, and I think our health, we need to take care, better health system, I need to work on my health, but I need to work on my well-being. I need to know my well-being. I can't worry. My husband always tells me, why do you care? We'll be driving and really he'll say, why do you care about that? Just who cares? It's not your problem. I just have that empath in me that I have a hard time letting go of things, and I'm learning today through friends like you, my sister. I've talked to your mom many, many times over the phone. This is a young lady I talked to about, not just Maria. I feel like my healing grounds are going south, and I'm going to Saskatchewan with my husband in 2 months. I've never even been that far.
You're venturing out.
Oh my God, we're going to be on a road trip.
The first time I crossed the mountains to go to the prairies was quite the adventure. And we went like all the way to Manitoba. We went all the way to a little place called Fisher Branch that has, I think, 2,000 is the population.
Where my family's from.
Really?
That's where his family's from.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
2,000
I'll
people.
go there.
And it's like 2 hours straight north from Winnipeg, so straight up.
We're going that way, no?
It's quite, well, if Manitoba's farther.
Going down to what they call frontier.
Yeah,
and
you're
I
actually
don't think
southern.
I don't think there's 1,500 there.
Small place.
That's a small town, 2,000 people, real.
Blink, you'll miss
Wow.
Exactly.
Do you miss home?
Yeah.
I love visiting there, but my work here is not done yet.
Oh, you're doing so good. Keep doing it, and like I said, I don't know where I'm going with this conversation, but
Nobody does.
I just like to talk,
We love to listen.
I love sharing, because I was told that you have to share, because if I don't continue sharing what I have today, my children aren't going to know anything, and you can't force them.
No.
Our daughter Lynn was in the 2010 Olympics. She danced for the opening in 2010 ceremony.
Cool.
And our daughter Katrina, she's like the backbone of my family, and she's just a workaholic, and she's got the most beautiful spirit. And our son Warren, he's kind of like in the background. He's kind of like there when you need him, but he loves to cook. I understand you have a cookbook.
I do, yes. I have. We went on a journey with his dad. He had cancer when I met him.
Oh.
And through that, actually, it was it worked out for us we experimented a lot with food, because he couldn't eat a lot of things. He reacted to food. He reacted to just about everything. So we created like a whole way of eating at home that was better, right? And I mean, a lot of it was, you could consider it gluten-free, but we really went back to natural foods. We incorporated game meat back in, and fish.
Wow.
Natural grains, things that would be more to a diet that Indigenous people eat. Wild rice instead of white rice, made soups.
Made a big difference,
It made a huge difference. It managed to, because we ate that way and we used food as the medicine that it is, he's been more than 10 years cancer-free.
Wow.
And
he fought cancer. Your dad?
His dad, yeah. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
So happy for you.
I know.
Yes.
I have some too.
He's very happy too. He loves having his dad around.
Yeah, looking across from me.
Yeah.
Say, I know that feeling. That's amazing how food can touch your soul, and so like I said, I just love sharing. I hope you cherish that picture, and I don't know.
I'm so grateful to have.
Did you want to show my husband? I don't think he's seen that picture yet.
Oh, okay.
Show my husband, please. My mom took that picture, Bob. My husband's here. If anyone's here on the podcast, he's sitting on the side.
On the sidelines.
He's right beside me as
cheering
always.
squad,
He's my
yes.
little cheering squad.
Couple last questions here for you. So what do you want our generation to start actioning today? What do you want us to start doing?
Today? Like right now? How old? Like how old do you want me to be?
Like 17 to 30.
Stay away from drugs.
Yeah.
Say no to drugs.
Mhm.
That's a beautiful thing.
Say no to drugs because it takes you down to the darkest road and you don't even know you're there. 25 years I've been in and out, and I never put a year on my sobriety. To this generation, I would like to see them show respect, not just to their elders, but to their co-workers, to their land, to their neighbor, and learn their language. You know, I'm 59 now, and I've been singing the language, but I just learned how to speak it. I just finished a course, so I would recommend them to get into the language. And it doesn't come to you. You have to go out. It doesn't. Nothing is given to you. It's like what you're doing right now. You're going. You want it. You're thirsty. You're going to go get it. That's what I tell my children. If you want something, go get it. You can't get it. My husband always told him, you want something, you got to work for it. And I think our children need to know that today, is that there's a world out there. It's not just on reserve. There's so much out there. You know, Waichakyo, be careful what you do, and Amish, be very careful how you walk, and just be careful with your words, because a lot of children will say stuff, teenagers will say stuff to their parents. You can't take it back. You can say sorry, but you can't take those words back.
Yeah.
I think our teenagers, I would like to see them put the phones down, spend more time with their elders, like what you're doing, and help their elders. Bring that back. We got to bring it back we got to bring our teachings back, because politically we're moving too fast. Economically, we all know we're struggling for food.
Yeah.
You know, and spiritually, it's got to come. And the only way they're going to learn it is if they attend ceremony, and if they want it, you also have to guide them. You got to take them by the hand and show them, if that's not for you, you move on to something new. Yeah. You know, I didn't learn computers till I was 39 years old. So from the age 17 to 30, just go out there and get it. If you fail, do something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, my goal is, I just learned how to do quarter bags last year. I'm knitting quarter bags now.
Nice.
And then my next project is to make my husband, I think they're leg warmers. Men call them leg warmers, regalia.
Yes.
I'm hoping to make that for
you're
him.
Gonna knit them.
I'm going to knit
Beautiful.
them, and
Nice. Very nice.
yeah, and just teach the kids to get hands-on. Eat better too. Like, get off that shit you're eating. Chocolate
Food is
bars,
medicine.
chips. Don't be like me though. Like my mom handed me a pop when I was 5 years old. She said, "You want to try this?" 5 years old.
Oh.
She regrets it. Don't get me. Sorry, Mom. I hope you forgive me. But like, she gave me a pop at 5. I know she's here. I know she's here.
Visiting. She's
my
sitting
mom's here. Yeah. But just I recommend 17-year-olds. Their body is transitioning over.
Yeah.
They're becoming young men and women. You start eating that junk food, you're done.
Yeah.
I want to see them eat healthier, because I struggle with food, with weight. I'm always up and down. So I'd say go to school, go see your elders, and eat good.
Do you want to
Great
dedicate this
advice.
podcast to anyone?
I would like to dedicate this to our Squamish people. I'm an ambassador, and I would like to dedicate this to my mom and dad. Wojcika.
I want to give you a hug. Oh!
As soon as I get up here, my little I'm getting up there.
It was so nice to hang out with you.
You're
Thank
amazing.
you so much. Thank
He
you.
gives good hugs.
Oh yes.
You got to go give my husband. He hugs like Warren.
He does?
Oh.